Kuzma as well. From the Lakers' perspective, you've got a young player who's developing, who was a contributing factor last year but dealt with some injuries. You got him at a very cost-efficient contract, $40 million over 3 years, and obviously that last one is a player option. So for the next 2 years after this one, they've got Kuzma, who they expect to grow and continue to be a contributor. From Kuzma's standpoint, he gets some financial security right now. Remember, he was a low first-round pick, so it's not like his rookie scale deal was millions and millions and millions of dollars. So he's got some security, but here's the better part. Because of the NBA rules surrounding trades with a guy who's agreed to a rookie extension, the poison pill rule basically makes it so that the Lakers are almost impossible or highly improbable to trade him this year. So Kuzma gets to opt out after 2 years and say, hey, maybe I played for 2 NBA championships after this second year here. It gives him more value in the trade market. It gives him more value on the free agency market in a couple of years. So I think everybody won with this one.
Yeah, I think this is a win-win for everybody. You get a guy with that many skills, that much talent in that package with that team. I think it's great to lock him up because you got a guy who's 6'8", can guard multiple people. He's got multiple skill sets on the offensive end. And I'm going to tell you what, the Lakers are going to see his value, and this is why. We already know LeBron and AD.
Right.
Marc Gasol is going to make Kuzma look awesome.
So good.
He's going to spread the floor. He's going to catch him on back cuts. He's going to get him open shots. And now all of a sudden we're going to see a different kind of Kuzma because he's going to be receiving from different people, and he doesn't have to go hunting for a shot or trying to do stuff to show people how good he is because he's going to be getting such easy baskets.
Well, to your point, if you look at his shot chart, Kuzma, a lot of it is cuts to the basket and a lot of it is threes. So when you have a guy like Marc Gasol working from the high post, those cuts to the basket will be fantastic. I remember talking to Nick Nurse about that and how he really unlocked their offense a couple of years ago with the ability that he has at the high post. But with Kuzma, to your point, he's actually become a much better defender. That was a deficiency early in his career. That is not the case anymore. They look at him as a big wing at 6'9" that can guard multiple positions. And I had the Lakers game on Friday in Phoenix, and Frank Vogel told us that Kuz actually asks for the best assignment, like to guard the best offensive player on the other team. Like, he has really grown in that regard.
Well, that's the slice of pie that he can get into because right now you're not going to be the leading scorer or the second leading scorer. So how do you help the Lakers win another championship? And if he continues to grow defensively, that's just going to make them stronger. And you got a coach like Frank Vogel who's going to continue to develop them in that area.
I mean, real quick, let me ask you, you mentioned the contract status and the poison pill and whatnot. Because it is a manageable contract. I mean, if they wanted to, not that I'm saying the Lakers will try to trade Kyle Kuzma, but in year 2, they could potentially trade him, right? Or no?
Yeah, so after this year, once the contract actually kicks in, because this year he's still making his rookie scale.
Right.
The next season, that's when his contract kicks in. That's when they could trade him. But to be honest with you, again, that would be maximum value because we're assuming that he's going to be a big part of another championship run here. At that point, you're talking about Kyle Kuzma, maybe a 2-time NBA champion, and has shown us some things as a healthy player that can get them a lot more value than were they to trade him right now. But even without that, it's so hard with that poison pill provision. I think Bobby Marks on Twitter, I saw him say, it's never been done. That's how hard it is. It makes it really hard to make those numbers work with that poison pill in effect.
All right, let's do Oprah here. You get a contract. You get a contract. Everybody get a contract. Let's talk about Rudy Gobert. Today's opening tip, E40 and Too Short squared off in a versus battle over the weekend, and Steph was inspired by E40's moves. Fizz, what do you think of Curry's impression here?
I like it. Curry looked like us at our high school dances. That's all that was an old school, high school dance, because me and E40, we kind of work in the same age area, That's nice, E40. Hey, all right. That's awesome.
For a guy who allegedly has never seen Paid in Full, I'm pretty surprised he knows E40 dances.
Yeah. Those versus battles have been interesting. I don't think there's any question about that. Welcome to The Jump. I'm George Sedano, in for our fearless leader, Rachel Nichols. Today, I'm joined by our resident coach, David Fizdale, and our front office insider, Amin Al-Hassan. Coming up later in the show, of course, we'll have a season preview today. Today will be the 76ers. And are we to believe the Simmons-Embiid duo will be successful? What changes for them under Doc Rivers? All that stuff is coming up. But first, the NBA announced today that the Milwaukee Bucks violated league rules concerning the timing of this season's free agency discussions, and the league has rescinded the Bucks' 2022 second-round pick as a result. Here's part of the league's statement on the penalty in regards to the Bogdan Bogdanovic situation. The league conducted an investigation into whether the Bucks had discussions with Bogdan Bogdanovic and or his agent regarding a free agent contract prior to the date when such discussions were permitted. The investigation concluded that early discussions did in fact occur, constituting conduct detrimental to the NBA. The penalty took into account the Bucks' cooperation with the investigation, the absence of evidence of any impermissible early agreement on terms of a contract between the Bucks and Bogdanovic, and the fact that the team ultimately did not sign Bogdanovic. So, Coach, is this a fair punishment from the league?
Yeah, I think it is, and I wouldn't discount a second-round pick. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's not a big deal, and it doesn't, really affect them. But 4 years ago, they drafted Malcolm Brogdon in the second round. So, these second-round picks can turn into something pretty big if you are very good at combing through college basketball. Overall, though, it shows that they were serious about keeping Giannis because they were willing to get a little bit ahead of themselves to go talk to him. And, you can see the results now. Giannis is staying home, and, I'm happy for him. But you can see Milwaukee was serious about getting out ahead of this thing and trying to keep him there.
Yeah, Coach, they were serious. And so I got to quote my buddy Tim McMahon, Ban McMahon, who said on Twitter, if that's the penalty, they might as well cancel the whole second round because everybody's going to start doing this. If that's the downside. The reality is they said it's because they cooperated. Okay, all right, that's nice. Because they didn't end up with the player. I don't know how that's supposed to be better. I think, the attempt was clearly there to tamper. And so the big thing here is that regardless of what kind of pick it was, and by the way, second round pick from Milwaukee, we're talking 56, 57, 58, 59, or 60th in the draft. So it may not really make a difference. But the idea is, what is the downside for me engaging in tampering? And remember, this didn't come out because of an investigation. This came out because the Bucks leaked to media sources who then reported the story. So if the story hadn't been reported, if they hadn't leaked voluntarily to the media, then they wouldn't even have gotten caught. So to me, I was a little surprised that the league let them off that easily for something that was almost a foolproof plan.
Fizz, to your point, though, those second-round picks are valuable. And, yeah, I mean, they could be 59 or 60, but Isaiah Thomas was once, I believe, the 60th pick in the draft.
Right.
Taylor Horton-Tucker, who everyone's talking about right now with the Lakers, was the 46th pick in the draft. So, right, those second-round picks are valuable. We saw a kid in Miami, KZ Okpala, as a second-round pick. Like, these second-round picks, with the teams that know how to develop talent, can be really fruitful.
Absolutely. And so that's why I say I get where it means coming from the standpoint of there should maybe be more. But let's be honest, a lot of this stuff is happening behind the scenes. They leaked it, and it was almost like they wanted people to know that, and wanted Giannis to know, man, look, this is how far we was going to get you. You know what I mean? Because why else would that information leak out of the building? So, I understand where he's coming from with that, but I do know that there is great, great value in second-round picks if you really understand how to comb through it.
They did want to show Giannis all the love, and he got the love, certainly. He got that big deal. All right, we mentioned Taylor Horton-Tucker. Let's talk about the Lakers and one of the Bears' contract here.
I love it.
Agreed to a 5-year, $205 million extension. Gobert was eligible for the full $228 million Supermax extension, but told ESPN's Bam McMahon that he did not request the full Supermax because he wanted the Jazz